Okay, today we're going to be adding some soil amendments to our soil for our soil test. We're going to be adding some Epsom salt. We're going to add about 1.2 pounds of Epsom salt. We're going to be adding some borax. That's about 2.4 ounces. Some potassium, some 0060. We're going to be putting in about 3 pounds. And then for gypsum, that's going to increase our calcium levels, and we're going to add about 3 pounds of that. So let me get this all mixed up here real quick. Let's get you guys, and we'll show you how I spread it onto the patch. Okay, got all the amendments in here. Just gonna mix it up. Alright, the amendments are all added in. Soil looks really good. It's fluffy. Looks really good. So, a couple more weeks, soil will be warm, and we'll get started. Okay, welcome back for episode 2. We're out here in the giant pumpkin patch again. We're going to be putting in some soil heating cables today. The soil heating cables kind of look like this. I'll put the link in the description below where you can get these soil cables. Putting in the soil cables is going to help raise your soil temperature for the early season growth of the giant pumpkin. We're going to hope to get the soil temperature up to about 70 degrees in the next couple weeks. My target date to put the plant in the ground is going to be, depending on the weather, April 24th. But I'll show you guys how I do this and what it looks like once we're done, so stay tuned. Okay, we got our soil heating cables in. I dug down about 8 inches or so. As you can see here, if you install these, make sure that the cords don't touch each other in the hole. If the cords overlap, you're gonna melt your heating cables. So what I like to do is, before I backfill the heating cables, I like to take just some bamboo sticks or something just to mark where the limits are of the hole. So when I go to till, I'll know that the cables are down there, so I don't dig up my own cables with my rototiller when I do the final till. So that's one thing to remember, is when you install these, make sure they're not overlapping, and you want them about 8 inches down or so you're not frying your roots of your pumpkin plant. I unplug them. I'll plug them in a couple weeks to warm the soil, and I'll unplug them, I'd say the end of May, when the plant really starts to run, the soil's warmed up on its own. I'll unplug them, we'll leave them there for the season, and at the end of the year, they're easily just pulled up out of the ground. You can reuse them year after year. This will be the second year I've used them. I had good luck with them last year, so I'll show you what else I do here, and we'll get it backfilled. Then we'll get the hoop house on. I'll show you the hoop house, and we'll start heating up the soil. Okay, as you can see here, we got our soil heating cables again down the hole. One thing I like to add into the hole before I backfill is Wow Superstar packs from Wow Wallace Organic Wonder. Ron Wallace makes some great products. No, I'm not sponsored by Ron. Just something I like to use. They're 1036. They're slow release fertilizer. I like to throw 3 or 4 down in the pit here on top of the heating cables. Just helps the plant be fed for a couple months as the roots start exploring out into the other soil here. But yeah, there's nothing really to it. I just throw a couple down the hole. I'll take some of that dirt and I'll throw it back on top. But yeah, that's something I like to do. Go check out his website for sure. I'll put the link down in the description. All right, just want to give you guys a quick look at the hoop house and what it looks like. It's gonna be going on the patch. Just made out of PVC. Just some 2x4s. So you just take a couple 2x4s, screw them together, and then we have a 1-inch hole on either side, and the PVC just goes into the hole, bend it over, the other side. And then we got PVC kind of in the middle just to give it more stability. So this is just a piece of plywood on all the corners, like little feet that just screw onto the bottom of the 2x4. So what I like to do is I will take a big rock and put them right here on the feet. So this thing is going to act like a kite if you don't have any sort of rock in the corners. This thing will be in your neighbor's yard before you know it. So I just put a couple big rocks in the corners on the feet. That just helps it keep it more stable. Let's get this on the patch and get the soil warmed up. Okay, we got the hoop house onto the patch. One thing, so after you till, always walk on boards. See, if I walk on these boards, the soil's not going to compact, right? It stays nice and loose for your roots to explore out, find nutrients and water. If you keep walking on your soil, it's going to turn to almost concrete. So once I get this hoop house out of here, the plant gets big enough, I'll make sure I do a final till on the spot here, and this won't really matter. One last look inside. I got the heating cables marked there. There's the cord coming out for the heating cables. Got the rock you see in the back just to hold this down so it doesn't become a kite. Basically, we're warming the soil too because corn soil, like these corn maggots, they'll destroy your plant. So I'm gonna close up this hoop house once we're done here. It'll get to over 100 degrees. The soil's gonna all heat up, and that's gonna cause the maggots to hatch and turn to flies. And we'll have one less problem to worry about. We put our seedling out here. Hopefully we're getting it out, say April 24th, depending on the weather. But we'll be starting the pumpkin seed April 10th, and I'll definitely do a little video for that, how to start a giant pumpkin and pumpkin seeds. All right, that concludes this week's episode on how to grow a giant pumpkin. If you liked what you saw, give it a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to our channel. We only have 4 subscribers right now. We're trying to grow the channel and our viewership. I'm going to be posting various times throughout the season on basically vine training, pruning, fertilizing, pollinating, insect control, what fungicides I use. So if you like what you saw, subscribe to our channel. I'll see you guys next week. See ya. Okay, welcome back to our page for episode 3 on how to grow a giant pumpkin. Today is seed starting day, and I'm just going to go over how I start my pumpkin seeds. You're just going to need some potting mix, some solo cups, saran wrap, a heating mat that's preheating right now, and then a shot glass with a little bit of water. And right there, I have our pumpkin seeds in the water already. Let them soak for about an hour. This year, I'm going to be growing the 1583 Conley to 2365 Wolf by the 2907 Peyton. Once we soak these for about an hour, we're going to transfer them into these solo cups with a little bit of moist potting soil. This year, I'm trying a new potting mix. It has a little bit less nutrient from the one last year. Last year, I got a little bit of leaf burn in the beginning. I think there was just too much nutrients in the potting mix. So this year, I'm going to try this one. It has a little bit less. But yeah, this is pretty straightforward. Once we put the seed in the solo cup, we're going to put some saran wrap on top. We'll put it on the grow mat, and I'll show you what that looks like. So stay tuned. What you're looking at here is a picture of my seedling from last year. I just wanted to show you what I was talking about when I said my potting mix, I think, had a little bit too much nutrient. This year, we're going to try a potting mix a little bit less nutrient, hopefully prevent that leaf from crinkling up. I'll let you guys know how that really turns out this year. Okay, it's been 1 hour since we started soaking the seeds. We have our potting mix. We got the seeds right here. So there's nothing really to it. We're just going to take one of the seeds, and we're just going to just put point down and just cover it over. And that's that. Nothing really to it. We'll put some saran wrap on top, and I'll show you what that looks like. All right, we got our pumpkin seeds in the seed starting mix. Got a piece of saran wrap on top of our solo cup. This is actually my grow light, and this is my seed starting mat. It just sits on top of my grow light for now. The top of this grow light's metal, so when this heats up, that helps just keep everything a little bit warmer. I actually have a little wireless thermometer there that helps, you know, so I can monitor things. The soil will get to 75, 80 degrees, and this is my oil burner. Actually, this is my grow room. That oil burner there will keep this room about 70 degrees at all times, which is nice. So like I said, it's nothing crazy. I have pretty good luck with this method. I never had really good luck with the plastic bag, paper towel method. This always seems to work for me. I just keep an eye on the moisture of the seed starting mix, and I'll just, you know, mist it down. But like I said, nothing crazy. I'll check back in a couple days and we'll get these transplanted into bigger pots. So like and subscribe to our page. Leave a comment if you have any questions. Until next time, see ya. Okay, welcome back to the channel. It's been about 3 days since we started these pumpkin seeds. Right now we're going to take a quick look and see if we have some germination on some of these seeds, and then we're going to transplant them into bigger pots. I'll show you guys how I do that. Some products that I like to use is from Extreme Gardening, Azos, and some premium mycorrhizal fungi from Ron Wall's Organic Wonder. Let's just take a quick look and see if these guys have started sprouting, and look at that. Small root there. So we're gonna get these transplanted up into bigger pots, and I'll show you how I do that right now. Okay, first step, create your potting mix. Some warm water. Next, I'm gonna take some of this potting mix, add about 3 or 4 gallons of potting mix to the water. Just like that. Next, we're going to take some mycorrhizal and just gently sprinkle that in. For the next addition, we're going to be adding just a few tablespoons of Azos. Then mix. Break up any clumps that form here. Get everything nice and mixed up, all the Azos, all the mycorrhizal. Okay, now that everything's mixed up here, I like to just take a handful of this potting mix, squeeze. If you get 1 drop of water, that means it's perfect moisture content. If you get multiple drops, just add a little bit more potting mix just to help absorb some of the extra water. That's how I like to test. Pick up a handful, squeeze, you get 1 drop, that should be perfect. Let's get this added into the grow bags and have the seeds added. What you're looking at here is the grow bags full of the potting mix, and then the seeds are now in this potting mix. So give them a couple more days. I'd say 3 more days, they should be up and green under the lights. Like and subscribe to our page. See you in a few days. Until then, grow them big. What's up, pumpkin people? Today is planting day for the giant pumpkin. The pumpkin started on April 10th. Currently we have about 75 subscribers to the channel. Let's push it to 100. Like, subscribe to our page. I'm going to show you what I do on planting day. Let's just get to it. Here we go. All right, so the soil I'd say is about 75 degrees. Our soil cable's been plugged in for about a week or so now. So the first thing I like to do is just dig a hole where our plant's gonna go. Next, I like to just place the plant in the hole just to get a depth on how deep I need to go when I'm making the hole. When you put your plant in the ground, the vine's gonna run the opposite of the first true leaf. So this is our first true leaf. The vine is gonna go away from it. So this is the direction we want it to go. And let's go on to step 3. Step 3 is take some premium mycorrhizal. I just take it liberally, just sprinkle in the hole, sprinkle in the surrounding soil. You want good root contact with this. It helps build the beneficial fungi around the root zone. So once you do that, let's go on to step 4. This next step, you're going to use Azos, which is also nitrogen fixing bacteria for your root zone. This one you also want really good root contact, just so it works a little bit quicker. So I just grab a handful and sprinkle it in. Nothing to it. Just make sure you have good contact with the roots. All right, the plant's in the hole here. This is the scariest part. So I gotta cut this plastic bag off without the whole root ball just falling apart. So this is where I get the most nervous in the whole process, if I'm gonna be honest. So I got a really sharp knife. I'm just gonna start cutting around the plastic bag. I'll show you what the end result is here. Hopefully everything goes according to plan. We got the plant in here. I lost a few roots. The root ball kind of fell apart a little bit, but it should be okay. So we'll go on to the last step here. Plant's in. Nothing catastrophic happened, so we're gonna go on to the last step here. Okay, the final step is just to water in the plant. In this water, I got some Azos and a systemic insecticide. It's a metoclopirin. This insecticide will go up into the tissue of the plant. So if anything comes along and decides to nibble on our leaves, bug's gonna be gone. So let's just get this watered in and it should be good to go. Try to avoid the leaves. I got a little bit of Azos on the leaf. I'm gonna wash that off just so I don't burn it. Give it a good drink. I want to get the whole area, just get it really watered in here. So that's that. I'm gonna just have a little portable heater. I'll show you what that is, the last little clip here. And that's it. She's planted. Now, just give it a month or so. We should be down and running soon. Keep the sun off of it. Here we go. All right, and the last thing is I got this little space heater plugged into a power strip here. I got my soil heating cable and just it's a 750 watt space heater. If you're going to use one of these space heaters, just angle it away from the plant. If you have it directly at your plant, you risk burning it. So I just use this usually at night when it gets a little cool. I run it, so it just keeps it about 70 degrees in here. And we'll see you guys next week. Like, subscribe to our page. Growing big. What's going on, pumpkin people? It's week 1 of the giant pumpkin season. I'm going to show you what our plant looks like after 1 week out in the hoop house. I'm going to show you how I make my compost pile. It's super easy and super fast. Like and subscribe to our page. Here we go. Just wanted to create this short video about how I make fast compost for the pumpkin patch. So basically all I'm doing here is taking the grass clippings from mowing the lawn today, and I'm alternating the leaves with the grass. So you're gonna see me out do grass leaves, grass leaves. This pile is gonna heat up to about 130, 140 degrees in the next couple of days. And I'll do this weekly. Every time I cut the grass, I'll mix the compost, I'll get the air into it, and then I'll add the grass back in, I'll alternate the layers. You want your compost to be about 60% carbon, 40% nitrogen, and in this case, the grass, and the carbon is the leaves. This will break down in the next couple of months, and it'll be usable in the garden. You can use it for your vegetables, your giant pumpkins, your flower beds, but this is what I do, and it's really simple and fast. Okay, this is actually day 6 for our giant pumpkin. You can see it's got one true leaf there and a second true leaf down below. You can just see the third leaf starting. The weather this week has been pretty good. Cold nights and with warmer days. Some days have been overcast. The heater at night's been a must. I'm expecting this pumpkin to really take off here in the next week or so. Once it gets settled in, I've noticed some good growth in the past day or two. So looking good. I mean, the color looks good. It's pretty standard for this age and this time of year. Here's a quick picture of our pumpkin 6 days ago when we first put it in the hoop house. Just wanted to show you a quick comparison of the growth that we've had over the past 6 days. Like and subscribe to our page. Until next time, growing big. What's up, pumpkin people? This week we're going to be showing you what our pumpkin plant looks like out in the hoop house after 2 weeks. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Like and subscribe to our page. And I just wanted to show you real quick some apple trees we've planted. You can just see them here. They're 2 years old so far. This is a Cortland apple tree. And I just wanted to show you this apple tree we have over here. This one's going a little bit bigger. You can see this is another Cortland. It's like 5 feet tall or so. Got some new growth coming out. So in a couple of years we should have some apples out here. But it's something else I like to do. I like to do giant pumpkins and just trying to start a few apple trees. See how it goes. You can see the graft down here. This is your rootstock. And then put a live scion in here. And that's how you graft on the apple tree. That's what it turns into. But just wanted to kind of show you that. I'll give you updates on the apple trees as well as we go throughout the season. I sprayed these with deer repellent. The deer have been pretty bad. They'll eat every leaf on here, so you got to keep up with your spraying on some deer repellents. Or I gotta cage them in is my next step. Maybe I might have to cage them up to like 5-6 feet high. But let's go take a look at the pumpkin plant. All right, just want to give a quick update on the giant pumpkin plant. It's doing pretty well. We got our first true leaf, second true leaf, third true leaf, and you can just see the start of the main. The fourth true leaf is coming out. It's a little pale, the color of this leaf, but I think we're gonna get that to green up once we start upping the fertilizers a little bit, and once you get a little bit more sun. But all in all, it's doing pretty well. Can't really complain. Everything seems healthy so far, but I expect this to be down and running in the next week or two once we get some nicer weather. But like and subscribe to our page, and we'll see you guys next week on the next update of the giant pumpkin plant. Growing big. What's up, pumpkin people? Today I'm just going to show you a quick update of the giant pumpkin. Like and subscribe to our page. We really appreciate the support so far. The plant's been in the ground for about 3 weeks now. It's about to run. You can see the main vines developing. I'll show you right now what that looks like. Stay tuned. Okay, stepping inside the hoop house here. Got our plant looking really good. It's starting to definitely take off. Got your first true leaf in the back as a recap. Second true leaf, third true leaf, fourth true leaf. And it's got its first tendril coming out right there. And you can start seeing the main vine develop right there. You can see just the tip of it right there. And got some secondaries starting to develop right there. Some secondary vines. See there. I don't know what that is. Noticed that over the past couple days. I hit the plant again with some metocloprid. I might hit the plant with some contact insecticide. If anyone knows what that is, let me know in the comment section. I might just do a little contact insecticide just to see if we can take care of that. I don't know, it looks like a slug or something. But yeah, I got these bamboo sticks now in place. Right underneath you can see I'm trying to support the main vine, and I'm trying to guide the plant a little just to the right, and hopefully it's going to gently lay down right about here. The weather this week is supposed to be 80-85 degrees, so this plant's about to really take off. It's starting to really get settled in here. Looking good. I don't see any double vines or anything, so this plant's looking pretty good. It's gonna get going here. Just a quick comparison of the leaf here, my hand comparison. Looking good. That's this week's update. Still got the heater in here. Got a little bit of weeding to do back here. Take care of that in the next couple weeks. Once I get this hoop house off, I'll clean up the patch again, and should be good to roll. But like and subscribe to our page. This is this week's update, and hopefully by next week we'll have this giant pumpkin laying down on the ground here. This part of the season's always a little nerve-wracking because you really don't want to put too much tension on your main vine. that could break off. So if you're ever going to manipulate your plants, you always want to wait until the heat of the day when it's really warm. The vine gets a little more flexible. If you were to start moving this plant around right first thing in the morning when it's cold, you're going to break it. So yeah, again, let me know where you think that is right there. This one over there is okay, that caught. But there's something chewing on my leaves here. These look okay, but like and subscribe to our page, and see you guys next week. Until then, growing big. What's up, pumpkin people? It's Eric from Big E Giant Pumpkins. I'm gonna give you an update about our plant in the hoop house here. Like and subscribe to our page. Really appreciate the support so far. This week, the giant pumpkin is about in the greenhouse for about 4 weeks now. It should be coming out of the hoop house within a couple days or so. Spring has sprung here in the northeast. You can see the sun just glistening off my face right now. It's about 75, 80 degrees. The weather has definitely turned for the better in the past couple of days, and the plant has definitely responded to the better weather. So I'm gonna give you a quick little update on our pumpkin plant. I'm gonna show you how the plants are doing up on the shed. Check out that video. Here we go. All right, here's a look at the plant. Probably our last update from inside the hoop house. Looking really good. It's probably a couple feet long now, the vine. And it's growing about a half a foot a day. The color looks really nice. Pretty happy with this plant so far. Just gotta get those secondary vines kicking into gear. I see some secondary development, but a little slow, but should kick in real soon with the nicer weather. Looking real good. This hoop house will be taking off soon, but all in all, looking real good. Okay, one other thing I wanted to show you guys was how good the lawn's looking this week. The lawn's looking really nice. So if you guys like lawn care videos, I'm gonna try to post those more frequently on what I do to keep my lawn green. We're up here at the shed, and look at those flowers. They've only been in here for a couple days now, and they've really taken off. So check out that video, how I did this and what I do. I'm gonna keep giving you guys updates on the flowers all season. But like and subscribe to our page, and until next week, growing big. Welcome back, pumpkin people. This week's update, we're gonna check out the flower box. We're gonna check out our giant pumpkin, and I'm gonna show you what it looks like outside the hoop house. It's been outside the hoop house for about 4 or 5 days now. It's looking pretty good, but we can start right up here by the shed. Like and subscribe to that page. Like, comment, subscribe, leave me some feedback. Let me know what you guys would like to see the next future episodes. But starting up here, we have our flower boxes. Looking really good. You should check out that the video, how I planted these and what I use and what I do, but looking really good. Not too bad. All right, let's go take a quick walk down to the patch, and I'll see you guys down. Okay, we're down at the pumpkin plant. As you can tell here, the hoop house is finally off the plant. Looking really good. We're stretched about 4 feet or so. Notice, don't walk on your soil. Always stay on the boards, because anything basically from the tip of your main vine and a radius circumference out, that's your root zone, and those are where your roots are. So let's take a walk over here. Got some good secondary development happening finally. Just see them just starting. Looking real good. Just notice I'm covering my main vine. So you can see right there at every leaf junction, there's like a little white dot right there. If you cover up those spots, you're gonna grow more. A root will shoot out from the top and go down into the soil, and at the bottom of your vine, another root will come out just to make your root zone a lot bigger. So bury your vines, and it's going to be the same thing for these secondary vines. Once they get going, it's the same thing. When they start stretching out, we'll bury those too. But I'm pretty happy with the color of the plant. Just maybe a touch of leaf burn there, just a little bit, maybe a little bit of nitrogen bloat, but looking good. Looking good. It's been a little warm past couple days, so just needs a little bit of water here. Looking real good. But thanks for joining me, and I'll see you guys next week here on the pumpkin patch. Until then, growing big. What's up, pumpkin people? This week I'm going to be showing you a Hanna EC meter, how I fertilize my giant pumpkins, some basic fungicides that you should be using now. It's now June 12th and the squash vine borer is out and active. I'm going to show you how to protect those plants. Like and subscribe to our page. Here we go. Okay, walking over to our rain collection system. It's just a simple 5-gallon bucket coming off my gutter. I have my EC meter here. What is EC? So in basic terms, how I describe it is EC is electric conductivity. It measures how much salt is in your solution, or how much solids are in your solution that the plant can absorb. So let's just take a quick reading on this rainwater. It's very simple to use, so I just turn it on. I'm gonna dip it in. Rainwater is 0.02. So that's about right. Usually it's 0.01 or sometimes even 0. But when you're fertilizing your plants, if you're doing a daily watering, you want somewhere from 0.5 to 1.5. If you want to go a little heavier, you can go up to 2 EC, but I wouldn't go anything over, like, say 2.3 or so. This Hanna meter also does your soil. So you stick this in your soil, and it'll tell you what your EC is of your soil up in the first, say, 4 inches of the soil column. But let's go add some fertilizer to this. I'm going to show you how this works and what fertilizers I use. Stay tuned. All right, so we have our 5 gallons of rainwater. You have your Hanna EC meter, and this is just some basic products I like to use here. I'm just going to use this little stick as my pointer, but calcium nitrate 1500. That's fast acting calcium, or I should say nitrogen, to help your plant grow vigorously. We're going to add some fish emulsion there, and some Plant Marvel 12-31-14, and some Companion Max, which is going to help grow your beneficial bacteria. So the beauty of measuring what you're putting in, say, into your mixture fertilizer is I can add all these together. I get a little bit of micronutrients, I can get my biologicals, I can get my nitrogen, get my phosphorus, my 12-31-14, all mixed into this 5-gallon bucket here without burning my plant, or help reduce risk burning my plant. So let's see here, I'm a little blurry. Let's see if I can, there we go. So 0.01, let's just add some of these ingredients little by little. We're gonna stir it up with this stick here, nothing fancy, and let's just get to it here. So it's gonna be a little tricky doing this one-handed, but I'm just gonna show you what happens here as we add things to our water here. So let's just eyeball it, couple little splash, little dash of fish. Just give it a quick stir here. I'm just going to show you what happens. So I'll just mix it up. And I don't pH adjust my water. You're going to find some content on YouTube that people adjust their pH in the water. I don't, because I know my pH in my water on my well is about 7, and the rainwater is about basic 7. So I really don't pH adjust. So I'm just going to show what happened there. Look at that. See, 0.40. that's still very low. So like I was saying before, we want 0.5 to a 1.5 for daily watering. I'm shooting for about a 2 today. You really don't want to go much higher than that. You can really risk burning your plant. I wouldn't put anything over, I'd say 1.5 on your leaves without risk burning them. So now we have our fish now in our solution here. So 0.41. Now let's just add a little bit of Companion Max for our beneficials. This will help fight off those bad things, bacteria and such. Helps. So this is 201, so a little bit more nitrogen, just a little splash. This is a very small batch, remind you. I mean, some of these guys are doing, 50 to a, let's make that sit and stay. Put the cap back on so I don't spill it and waste it. A lot of these guys are doing 50, 60 gallon, 100 gallon batches, but I only have one plant, so I can kind of get away with, 20 gallons at a time or 5 gallons, just a quick drench at night after work. But I add a little bit of Companion. Let's see where we're at now. 0.5. Yep, 0.5 right there. So we're getting up a little higher. You probably add a little bit more Companion, but I want to add a little bit more calcium nitrate. I want to add a little bit of this bloom and flower food. Has a lot of beneficial things in here as well besides nitrogen, phosphorus. I wish you could see that. It focuses for me. It has iron, copper, and I think boron, manganese, zinc. It's got a lot of your micronutrients in there. So I like to add that in just because my plant's getting that. Let's just now add a little bit of this calcium nitrate. Sorry about the shakiness of the phone here. It's a little tricky one-handed. I forgot the tripod here today. So we're gonna sprinkle in a little calcium nitrate. Don't panic if you go over your EC, desired EC. We can just add a little bit more water. That'll help dilute it. So, if you go over, it's not a big deal. You can just add a little bit more water and it'll help dilute it. This is my first year using the EC meter. In years past, I never used it. I just followed the label and the instructions, but I wanted to really find out what I was feeding my plant. If I was overfeeding, I was underfeeding. And I think from what I'm seeing so far, I could have been overfeeding a little bit, to be honest. And see, we're at 1.5. We're almost there to our desired 2. 1.6. This is going really well. This is a really, really good solution with a lot of beneficial things here. Got your fish, Companion. We're gonna get your calcium nitrate, and then we're gonna get a little bit of this plant marvel. This I gotta be a little bit careful here. I don't go over. I got about 0.5 left. A little sprinkle, Oh, that's a little. I think it was a little too much, but we're about to find out here. If I get just in the 2 zone, I'll be okay. I can always add some water, like I said. Not a huge deal. But like I said, I'd be a little more careful if I had another hand, but just trying to show you guys what I do here. So it's over 4, which I knew that was probably gonna happen. A little heavy on the hand, but not a big deal. I'm just gonna water it down. I won't bore you guys with that, but I'm gonna show you after I get this adjusted where we're at for a final EC. I'm just gonna add some water. Let's see where we're at now. Nope. All right, let's go add some water and I'll show you. All right, I have to just water this down real quick. Not a big deal. 2.3. We're gonna let that go, and we're gonna fertilize our plant now. Let me just show you real quick some, like I was saying before in the beginning of this video, just some basic fungicides I use. See if I can grab them real quick. So we're getting into the humid months. We got to be alternating these every 7 to 10 days. I use Spectracide, multi-purpose fungicide. So this is a systemic fungicide. I've had really good luck with this actually. Goes up into the tissue of your plant. So you drench this into your plant. It goes up into your plant, all the stems, the leaves, the tendrils, and it helps protect your plant from various funguses here that could happen. And then I also use Daconil. This is a contact fungicide. So this is what you spray foliar or right on your leaves, and this helps prevent fungus as well. So I rotate these both every 7 to 10 days throughout the season. This week I just started with the systemic fungicide, and then I'll keep rotating back and forth basically every 7 to 10 days. I've had a really good luck, knock on wood. I haven't had any fungus issues, but so yeah, that's that. So I made a quick batch of fertilizer. So I'm just gonna take this fertilizer, put it in my watering can so I just get under the leaf canopy, and I'll try to show you that as well. Let's take a quick walk over to our flower boxes. Just want to show you these before I head down to the pumpkin patch. Looking real good. I use that Plant Marvel fertilizer a lot on these. They seem to really like it. Looking good. Yeah, I just wanted to show you those. And I pick off these. I'm sure everyone else does too. Pick them off. And actually, if you look, when you pull those little flowers off and you look right in the middle, see that little dot right there? That's actually seeds. They're in there. So towards the end of the season, they'll get a little bigger. Kind of like that. You can see it right there. There's like these little black seeds that are in there. You can save them actually. You can replant them next year, dry them out. But sure, I'd share that little tip. But that's that's the flowers. So looking good. All right, let's head down the pumpkin patch. Let's fertilize that plant up. I'll show you the plant, what it looks like this week. Looking really good. Stay tuned. All right, this is the pumpkin plant this week. Looking pretty good. I have this pumpkin right there. I'm not quite sure if it's gonna open or not. Sometimes a plant will self-abort these before they even open, just because the plant's in growth mode right now. If it opens, I might pollinate it. It'd be out 10 feet. I would have like 12 secondary vines behind it if it took. But the secondaries are starting to show everywhere. Take a look at that. Secondaries are starting to come out now. Starting to come out. So looking good here. Make sure you always walk on your board. So I'm shuffling around and you hear me shuffle in the background of this video. I'm trying to stay on this board. And yeah, got a male flower opened up right there. First one or two of the season there. And notice I'm covering my main vine. Helps encourage a taproot to come out from the top. See if I can, there it is, right there. You can see it. So if you cover your plant, not your plant, but your vine, it'll create another root, and that root's coming up. And actually going down to the soil, help expand your root zone. And then take a look at the stump. I don't get worried about these. See a little split here? Just a little growth split. You gotta make sure it stays dry, but an old cot leaf here. You can safely take this off, just pinch it off. It's just a cot leaf. You don't need that anymore. Just inspect the underside. I don't see any bugs or anything. Looking good. So yeah, I'll clean that up a little bit. But looking good. Here's a look at the plant and leaves. Leaves are really big here. Well, it's starting to really stretch out. starting to really stretch out, so doing all right. Let's get this fertilized up. I'd say by next week though, this plant's gonna really be running. These side vines are starting to really pop. And then try to use bamboo sticks or whatever stakes you can get just to help train these vines down. And the battle every day, weeds. I know I'm slacking. I know all the comments will come out. I'm slacking on the weeding. I know I'm slacking on the weeding. I gotta take care of this. But just look at that male flower right there. Looking all right. But we'll start burying these side vines real soon, probably the next 4 or 5 days. But she's growing pretty well. Can't complain. So let's get this fertilized up. Got our fertilizer solution, and then we're just gonna walk around and get those tap roots, get everything watered in under the plant. And this is a very light feed. I watered earlier this morning, so you don't got to do a lot. Want to make sure you get outside the root zone, but I do overhead water. So I basically drench like this once a day, and then I overhead water once a day to ensure we're getting everything watered. So I put on probably about 50 gallons a day, I would say, of water on the patch. You want to make sure you get everywhere, even away from that stump, because the roots are all out there. Gonna continue on here. I'm gonna finish up and send you guys off until next week. All right, the plant's all watered in for the evening. Looks good. If you guys liked what you saw here today, definitely like and subscribe to that page. Let me know what you'd like to see next week here on the page. I really appreciate the support so far. Like, subscribe, comment. It really motivates me to keep bringing you guys content and showing you guys what I do, what it's gonna take to grow, say, 1,000-pound pumpkin out here this year. So like and subscribe to that page. Until next week, growing big. Until then, see ya. What's up, pumpkin people? We're back for another update this week of the giant pumpkin patch. Plant's looking really good. I'd say the plant's about 20 feet long. I'm going to show you just some basic vine burying techniques. I'm just going to set up probably the camera on a time lapse of some sort, just me in the patch. I'm also going to show you our tomato plant up on the porch, just so, you know, to show you guys that you really don't need a lot of room to grow tomatoes. So if any of you people want to grow tomatoes, you only need just a little small container, and I'll show you what I do for that as well. But let's start up here at the shed. At the flowers, check out that video how I planted these and what I used. Looking really good. No complaints there. The weather for the past, I'd say, week has been hot and humid, 80, 85 degrees, sometimes pushing over 90. So the plant's been really, it's really doing really well right now. We pollinated last Monday, so we have one pumpkin, I think, on day 6, and it may have took, I used one male to pollinate, and we possibly have another pollination tomorrow, and I'll show you guys that too. Show you the bio. I definitely want the second one, I think, to be our keeper this year. But let's go see you guys now at the patch, and we'll take a look at the plant. And I'm just gonna do some basic maintenance of the plant and set this camera up so you can just watch me work. Here we go. All right, just want to show you our tomato plant up on our porch here. So we have 2 plants in this pot. We have some cherry tomatoes, and then we have some, I think, beefsteak tomatoes. You can see them right there. They're starting to really take off. I mean, tons and tons of tomatoes. So check out my videos on my short videos on pruning and pollination. Like I said, just to pollinate a tomato plant like this, I like to just give it a little shake. Because if you look on a tomato flower, you can't really see it. Let's see if we can zoom in right there. It's basically on a tomato flower that has both male and female parts. So when you shake this plant internally, I guess there's some pollen falling into the female portion of the flower, and that's what pollinates, and that's how you create tomatoes. So just not sure if you guys anyone knew that, but it's not like you have to pick these off and pollinate, but just simply shake, and the pollen in these flowers is falling and pollinating the female portion. So I've been doing that a lot this year. Every time I come out in water, I've been shaking the plant a little bit, and I'd say this is the best year I've had so far. I mean, look at all these flowers on this tomato plant. I mean, it's really, really, really nice. Check out just even the base of this tomato plant. I don't know if you can see that, but it's really, really big. So this is about a I'd say 10-gallon pot, nothing huge. And when I start my plants, I just bury them really deep. So the deeper you plant your tomatoes, it'll make more roots. So my root system, I think, is pretty big. And then I use Wow Super Starter Packs from Wow Organic Wonder. Check out his website for the starter packs. And then I use, I think, Plant Marvel fertilizer like once a week. It's like 15, 30, 12. I don't have the bag in front of me, but it has a good balance. And these are just some flowers. I had some leftover extras. But let's go down to the pumpkin patch and I'll keep you guys updated on this. But you don't need a lot of space to get a lot of tomatoes. So let's go check out the giant pumpkin. All right, the moment you guys all have been waiting for, here's our giant pumpkin plant. And it's doing really, really well. Side vines are, really taking off there. Ooh, right there, right there. They're starting to come out even the fence. Yes, I know I need a bigger area. Let's take a walk around this way. Show you, here's our pollination. This is day 6. I'm not sure if it took or not, but that's about 10 feet out or so. It's way too close, I think, for me, but I just wanted to use this plan D. That's an ice pack. It's been really hot, so when I pollinated, I put an ice pack next to the female blossom just to help keep it cool. Not sure if it helped, but a lot of people do it, so gave it a try. Long stem, it's swelling up. It's still shiny, so it might have took. Color of these leaves are really good. I mean, I really hit this hard with fertilizer last week, and you can see all these side vines coming out. And I'm snaking through the fence here, but looking really good. And then I think tomorrow, this is about 20 feet out. Where is it? I think it's right down there. Yeah, right there. There's our female, about 20 feet out. Hopefully we can get that one a set. And I got it, so that's why I wanted to be my keeper and be plenty far out. I have about 20 days to grow our plant out. So once I set that fruit, I have about 20 days to grow this plant as big as I can before it becomes a sink, so to speak. And also this week, I extended the patch right there, probably another 10 feet or so. So it's leaving the soil, but one of these years I'll definitely make the patch bigger, but I'm trying to definitely fill in every square inch I can with leaves. People have grown 1,300-pound pumpkins and even smaller areas than this. So I have hopes this year to get something really big. So it's looking really nice. One of my better plants I think I've ever had for this time of year. Looking good. And I think I have another one that tipped really far in there. So that would be out here somewhere, you know, a couple more feet, another 5 feet or so. But I think it's gonna be tomorrow. You can see that female's right there. But we'll see what happens. But I'm just gonna set this camera up now, and I'm gonna do some vine training and burying, just to, you know, see what I do here as a daily routine for the giant pumpkin. So let's get to it. Let's get to work. Okay, I think that concludes this week's episode. Like, subscribe to our page. Hopefully by next week we'll have another one set. Looking pretty good. We're on schedule. If I can get something pollinated by end of June, early July. I'm not setting any world records here, but you know, if we can get up over 1,000 pounds, that'd be really good. But everything's going great. Like I said in my previous episode, check that one out. Make sure you're keeping up with your fungicides and your insecticides, and you're alternating your fungicides every 7 to 10 days. Don't just do one fungicide. Make sure you're alternating, because the funguses will get immune to the fungicide and build up immunity. So make sure you keep alternating. But until next time, grow 'em big. What's up, pumpkin people? We're back for another week and another update here for our giant pumpkin plant. We got possible 2 pollinations set, and I'll show you both of those. Plant's looking really good, and we have a possible pollination coming up maybe the end of this week. Like, subscribe to our page. Here we go. All right, we're back for another update here, and this plant is really taking off this week. We're standing at the stump end of the plant here. The stump's like right over there, and you'll see way down there, got a little tiny Christmas tree we planted a couple years ago, but I extended the patch out. The vine is about 25 feet long, I would say. It's going really well. Got some side vines shooting out the side here of the pumpkin patch. So, I mean, these side vines are probably 10 feet long or so. And like I said before, I think the main vine's about 25 feet. I got a couple pollinations last week. I'll show you those. Here's a stump. The stump's looking good. I gotta take off this dead leaf right there. It's okay, we can trim that back. And stump's looking good. Stump's dry. I'll probably put a stump cover over it so it doesn't get wet when we water, but looking good. I saw a couple cucumber beetles a couple weeks ago. I took care of those with some Tall Star insecticide. No squash vine borers yet, knock on wood. I've been treating those with metocloprid. We'll take a look on this side of the plant. There's one of the side vine coming out. It's probably one of the first side vines coming off the stump, but little pumpkin there. We'll take that one off for sure. And we got some tertiary development right there. I don't know, I might run that tertiary back behind to fill in some more space, try to get some leaf canopy. Overall health of the plant's really good. The nice color of the plant. I've been feeding the plant every day, essentially, with something. I get a lot of questions from people. They ask, you know, how often do you feed? You know, what do you feed? The answer is every day. So if you go back and watch my other episode with my EC meter, my Hanna EC meter, I feed the plant something every day. You know, either it's fish, it's seaweed, it's, you know, plant marvel, it's something. You're always putting something on the plant. This plant's hungry. So it's always hungry, and you gotta be feeding it something, because wherever it's taken out of the soil, you gotta be replacing it. Let's take a look at this pollination here. So this first pollination we're gonna be looking at is only about 10 feet from the stump, which is way too close. You want your sets to be, I don't know, 15 feet, or the amount of secondaries. You want about 15 secondaries behind your fruit. So we're gonna take a look at this pumpkin here. It's 14 days old, and there's a slug right there. We will take care of him shortly. Second thought, let's just get him right now. Let's get him. But I'll get a closer up, I guess, of the fruit here. Stepping inside. Get this guy off. Get off of there. Be very careful not to scratch your pumpkin. Your fingernail will scratch that pumpkin real easy and scar it. And it's about 20 inches in, 22 inches in circumference. It's very small for the age. Let's just, so that's plan C, like I said. Make sure we stay on the walking boards here. So you got my big muck boots on. If you don't have a pair of these, get yourself a pair. Got them from Cabela's. This is our other set here. This one's a lot further out. I mean, this is about 20 feet out. Here's the first set looking down the main vine. And yes, I know the position of that fruit is not good. You want your fruit, so this like right here, you want it twisted, facing about 90 degrees parallel to your vine. I didn't really intend on keeping that one, so I didn't really position the vine. But here's my other set. Like I said, I haven't positioned this fruit yet. This is, let's see, what's today? Day 7. Still shiny and still growing. That's a positive that it might have taken. We'll see how it goes. Ice pack, it was really hot the past couple days, so I'd freeze an ice pack and just put it close to keep this blossom, you know, as dry, as cool as I could. And so I took off the flower petals. So you want to take off these flower petals from like your female about 2 to 3 days after you pollinate, because you'll rot that nub right off there. So you want to keep it good and dry. So I take that off so it doesn't cause any issues. But that's the second set there. But that's plan B. That's plan B. Let's go take a look at plan A. Plan A is opening, I'd say this week. It's a little late for the pollination, but we'll have a lot of plant behind it, so we'll make up lost time, I think. Let's scoot out of there. Before we head over to the third potential, I just wanted to show you guys, I've had a lot of questions also about what I'm using for insecticides and fungicides, so here's a little recap. This right here is what I use for insecticides. Tree and shrub from BioAdvanced. This has imidacloprid in it. This will help protect your plant from squash vine borers. Squash vine borers will wipe your plant out. I mean, in the next month or two, you'll come out one morning, your plant's gonna be dead. So the little larvae, the little eggs, they'll lay them on your leaf stalks and your vines. And the little larvae, they'll bore right into your vines. It's called a squash vine borer for a reason. Eat the insides of the vines and wipe you out. So use BioAdvanced Tree and Shrub. I use Tall Star. This is the active ingredient is Biofin. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Yeah, the active ingredient is Biofin. So this will take care of squash vine borers along with cucumber beetles, squash bugs, and things like that. So this is a contact insecticide, and this is systemic. See, it goes up into the roots and the foliage of the plant. So when something comes along, like a larva or like a squash vine borer boring into your vine, this, you know, it's in the tissue of the plant, they'll die. This is a contact. You spray this right in your leaves. It stays on your leaves, so when something comes along and nibbles on your plant, see you later. Over here, if you look at my last, I think it was episode 11, I touched on these, so I'm alternating all these. So I'll do 7 to 10 days this, 7 to 10 days this. I rotate back and forth. And then same thing with the fungicides. Every 7 to 10 days, I'm going back and forth. This is systemic. This is a contact, Daconil. Daconil is going to help prevent powdery mildew, that'll take over when it's get hot and humid. Had really good luck with this. Every 7 to 10 days, and I switch back to Munix from Spectracide. That'll go up into the tissue of the plant and help protect your plant from funguses. Let's just take a walk around here. Check out the main vine tip. Here's the, we're at the front of the plant now. Looking real good. I mean, it's a big plant. I mean, kind of unorthodox here how I grow, but I'm just showing you, the viewer at home, you don't need all the space in the world. You got to work with what you have sometimes. I mean, I'm hoping we're gonna grow a 1,000-pound pumpkin here this year. So, you know, you can get it done with what you have. So we're working with it. And right under here, it's about, I don't know, 25 feet out. We have this baby pumpkin right there. That is the hopeful right there. If we can get that baby to set, I think we're gonna be in good shape. We'll have a lot of plant behind that fruit. Look at that plant. We'll have a lot of plant behind this fruit. And I don't see any reason why we can't push this over 700 pounds or more. So I'm hoping this guy will open in the next 5 days or so. And I looked in the tip of the vine here. I can't really show you guys. It's pretty deep in there, but there's another female in the tip, and that would be another, say, 5 feet. I can always extend this gate out a little bit. I'll make the patch a little bigger if I have to, if that doesn't take. But that's our hopeful. So if you guys are cheering me on at home, that's the one we want right there. That's the one we're gonna want. But we're gonna walk around here, have some automated sprinklers that come on. We missed the plant. Just looking at the back side, I'll fill in this area with side vines. I'm trying to wrap these, stay in the soil. I gotta do some vine bearing. Gotta catch up on that vine bearing a little bit. Gotta bury these nodes up once I get this twisted around how I want it. But yeah, you can see right there, that's the one I just pollinated 7 days ago. And there's our one right back there. But that's this week's update. Gotta do some weeding. Keep hitting this plant every day with something. So stay tuned for more updates. I'll keep doing them once a week, and hopefully by next week, that one way out there will be set. And we're gonna be sitting pretty, I think. Knock on wood, but hopefully everything goes according to plan. No bad storms come, wipe us out. But like and subscribe to our page, and hope you guys liked and enjoyed what you guys saw today. Tell a friend about our page, and until next time, grow 'em big. What's up, pumpkin heads? This week I'm going to be showing you how our plant is doing. We possibly have 2 pumpkins set, and I need your help this week. So this week I'm going to show you the 2 pumpkins we have possibly set right now. One's on day 21 at 10 feet out, and it measures about 45 inches in circumference. Or we just pollinated one about 4 days ago, and it's 25 feet out, and that one seems like it took, we'll give it a couple more days, but I'll show you both those pumpkins, the plant health. But I want you guys, the viewers, to put in the comment below which pumpkin we think we should go with, because I'm having a tough time deciding. I'll give you the pros and cons to each in this video, and we'll make a decision together this week. So let's get to it. All right, starting at the rear of the plant here. The plant's about 30 feet long today. You can see way down the other end. I had to extend the patch, but overall plant health is pretty good. Today I'll be spraying some systemic fungicides. Leaf health looking pretty good. The older leaves here, you can see right there, some of the older ones are starting to show their age a little bit, but I think it could be a potassium deficiency, because the pumpkin's starting to really pull some nutrients from the soil. So I ordered some, as I think CalMag, it's a high potassium fertilizer from Wow Organic Wonder. So we're gonna try that. That'll be in, I think, today or tomorrow. So I'm gonna up the potassium, and that might help the leaf issue. That's what some people think. If you know what that is, let me know in the comment section below for sure. But I'm snaking out the secondaries here behind the plant. I'm just trying to fill in as much as I can, utilize all the space I can here. Let's just take a look at the stump real quick. Stump looks pretty good. I need to weed, obviously, these weeds out of here, pull them out. It's an ongoing battle, but it's dry, it's not rotting or anything, but I need to clean that up a little bit. That's this week's task. I actually got this tertiary vine here that wants to come out. I'm gonna actually leave that tertiary. I lost a couple secondaries. It seems like they got stunted. So what tertiary is off your secondary vines, tertiaries will come out, and typically you like to trim those off, but in this instance, I'm just gonna leave on a few just to build up some more leaf canopy. And I'm gonna walk around here, see I'm still snaking them out, up and around, but looking pretty good. So I was saying before in the intro, I need your help. So without further ado, here's our one of our pumpkins here. And I know I gotta put sand, and I really didn't think I was gonna be keeping this pumpkin, but I might be keeping it. I'll have to move that secondary. I'll have to turn this. I mean, the position's not great. I would have to raise up the vine. I had to do a little bit of work here. So in your decision, let me know what you think. But yeah, I gotta remove this leaf. I gotta do some work. I really didn't think I'd be keeping that pumpkin, but the shape is decent. It's growing about, I don't know, 4 inches in circumference a day, which is pretty good. It's about 45 inches in circumference. So there's the pumpkin. The stump is right there. We have all this plant still in front of it. Got some more secondaries over in that corner, over there. So that's option number 1. So yeah, it's a hard decision. And I'm gonna show you the next one we have here. So I just pollinated this one over here. This is DAP 4. Days after pollination is DAP. So we say in short, DAP. This is my fist right here. I mean, it's about for, I don't know, 6 or 7 inches in circumference. I haven't measured it, but look at all that plant behind it. So the theory is, the more plant you have behind the pumpkin, you're gonna get a bigger fruit. And I got these secondaries here. I gotta train them and expand my pumpkin patch. Yes, I know, but got a lot of secondaries popping out here. But this one would be a little easier. So in your decision, if this one was to take, I could turn this main vine, because it's not very long past the fruit. I could turn this vine, give it way more room. I could set up a nice bed of sand here. I can get into it nice and easy. That one back there is a little bit more tricky to get to, but it is bigger and it is kind of established, so I'm kind of torn what I want to do. And right there, you can see this is the back end of the pumpkin. It's tipping back a little bit. I released that taproot. It's looking pretty good, shiny. It definitely took. But yeah, so it's either pumpkin number 1 or pumpkin number 2. I don't know, my gut's telling me pumpkin number 2, but something else is telling me to ride out this one because it's an earlier pollination, and I've never really pollinated one that early. The plant health is good. I think I could really push this maybe to 700 pounds, 700 to 1,000 pounds, if I can keep this plant going. But like I said, from there to that stump, it's really not that far. But up there, we got a few more secondaries, so it's hard to say. So let me know what you guys think and then we'll make a decision. So also, if you're an experienced grower, let me know how many days I should wait. I'd say about 10 days if what I know and how much I've researched and everything else. I mean, my years of growing, I'd say wait about 10 days, make sure that really is set, because I don't want to cut that fruit off and we have no pumpkin if that one was to abort right after that. So that's this week's update. So hopefully by next week we're down to 1. That'd be ideal. So plant health is good. Tonight I'm going to be spraying some systemic fertilizer, fungicide, and I'll be doing some weeding over here, but overall plant health is good. So thanks for joining me this week. Like and subscribe to our page, and like I said, leave a comment below on which pumpkin we should keep. What's up, pumpkin people? This week I'm going to give you a full update on the pumpkins and the plant health. I think we've made a decision on which pumpkin we're going to be saving for the season. Check out my last video from last week. We had 2 different potentials, one at 10 or 11 feet out and another one was about 25 feet out. I got a lot of feedback on which one I should keep, but I'm going to show you which one we're going to end up going with and reasons why I decided to do that, and different things you should be doing to your giant pumpkin as it grows, stem stress, vine positioning, and putting some sand on your giant pumpkin. I'll show you, kind of what that looks like and why we do those things. But let's just get right into it. Stick around, like and subscribe to our page. Here we go. We're at Home Depot here, get some place here for giant pumpkin. Need about 1 bag of this to start, and then once you get a couple thousand pounds, you might need a few more bags. All right, starting this week at the front of the plant. The stump is way back there, and the main vine is way out here next to our baby Christmas tree that we planted about 3 or 4 years ago. Plant health is pretty good, but as you can see here, the secondaries are kind of stunted. I think it's because the pumpkin is just drawing so much energy and energy now that it has no more juice to push out any more vines. I've been really pushing. Was it 15-5-30 from Wow, it's K-Mag. So really pushing the potassium on this plant. But this is the main vine tip, probably out at, 40 feet now, I would say. Let's just take a walk around. Here's the second fruit that I showed you guys last week. It's it's 15 or so inches in circumference, day 10. I don't think we're gonna keep this. It's just something about that first fruit. You can see it back there poking up through the canopy right there. It's something, I don't think it aborted. I don't know. I feel like it's that first pumpkin's taking the nutrients and just wants to grow, so I'm not gonna hinder it from growing. So I think our chosen fruit's back there. I'll show you what that looks like. Quick look at the leaves. That's my hand for a comparison. So my hand's about, 7-8 inches. So that's 7, 14, 20, 21 inches right there. So looks pretty good. Don't be alarmed about these white spots here. It's Daconil. That's not powdery mildew. I'm trying to prevent that. That's Daconil I sprayed last night. So you'll see that on all the leaves, but nothing to be concerned about there. Let's hop over this fence. Looking pretty good, the plant. I'm still trying to push that growth as much as I can on this fruit and the plant. And without further ado, here's our giant pumpkin so far. I'll get a better angle of it. So you'll notice in the last video, I spun the plant. Well, I spun the fruit this way to get it more perpendicular to the vine. I cut some tap roots down there. I'm gonna add some more sand around the fruit. I gotta raise up this vine, use some pool noodles. That pumpkin weighs about 140 pounds estimated. It's growing about 13 pounds a day. Let's take a look at our stump. I cleared away all those weeds. Looking good. Just walk around here real fast. Ooh, look, secondary coming around. Probably a 30-foot long secondary spinning it around. Here's another look at that stump right here. Looking good. And the dreaded vine split down there I uncovered my vines right down there. I'm not too concerned. As long as I keep it dry with the stump cover, I put some sulfur on it. It's brown because it was covered. It's not because it's soft, but it's pretty solid. But not ideal, but I'm not too concerned. Plant still looks happy and healthy back here. Here's a looking stump out to the main tip where we just were. There's our fruit. We're gonna come around here, step over the side vine. So I got some play sand here. So we'll put this play sand underneath our fruit, and I'll show you what that looks like at the end here. Maybe I'll set up the camera as I work and put that around. But that helps with the drainage, it keeps the slugs away. I cover this with a towel, so I keep the skin on the fruit as pliable as possible. There's our fruit right there. It's looking pretty good. It's hard to get the scale, but it's about 75 inches in circumference last time I checked. It's kind of, I'm thinking I'm gonna name this fruit. I have an idea in mind, so let me know what we should name this fruit. So that'll be the next thing we gotta do is name this fruit. I have one name in mind, but let's just see what everyone else comes up with for names. So put your suggestions down in the comments. It's doing pretty well though. Can't complain with the gains. It wants to grow. So it's probably put on 100 pounds this week. And yeah, 75 inches in circumference this morning. I'm hoping to hit 100 inches in circumference by end of July is the goal. And hopefully we can get this baby up over 600-700 pounds. Get a new personal best is the real goal. Getting a new personal best is always the goal. We'll see how far we can take it. I'm a little concerned about the vine positioning, but I think I just gotta twist this fruit a little bit more and it should be fine. So I went ahead and added some sand around the fruit here so we're up off the ground, repel some slugs. So in good drainage so it doesn't rot from underneath. Look at this blossom end. The blossom is pointing inward. So the left side of this fruit looks like it's growing faster than the right side. I think that's kind of interesting. But that's this week's update so far. So like and subscribe to our page, and I'll keep you guys updated throughout the week on my short videos. So if you subscribe to my page, you'll get notified when I post. And then I'll do one once a week, a long video like this. So until then, growing big. What's up, pumpkin people? This week I'm going to be revealing the pumpkin name that we have chosen for this pumpkin right here. I'm going to show you which pumpkin we chose. I think I just gave it away. Stay tuned and I'm going to give you a full update. All right, the time has come. I think the plant made its own decision. You can see right here the white and dimples. This pumpkin aborted. So I think the plant just aborted this fruit just because I think it's just pulling so much energy for the big fruit. I think it's just, it only can handle one and support one. So we're just gonna go ahead and cut this fruit off right now. All right, just like that. All right. That little sap coming out. Little stem splits. But that's that, we're down to one. Okay, starting at the top of the main vine here, the stump is about, oh, I don't know, 40 feet back in that direction. I'm just guessing at this point. I'd say about 40 feet. The main vine still continues to grow. Let's just take a little walk around here. Plant health looks pretty good. no complaints. I do have this one leaf here randomly just kind of out by the main on the tip here, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if that's overspray of something, or I don't know what happened, but it's only one leaf. The rest of the leaves look fine, so I'm not quite sure what happened there. But you will notice here we have one less pumpkin. Took off that fruit right there for that fruit back there. We're at day 35 or so since pollination. I haven't looked at my chart today. I think it's about day 35. But yeah, one less fruit. Took that off. It's been a cool past 2 days or so. Hoping the heat comes back. The pumpkin slowed down a little bit. And plant health is looking good. And what's gonna reveal the pumpkin is right there. This is, drum roll please, this is our pumpkin Casper. Casper is 35 days old, like I was saying, and Casper is about 250 pounds, growing about 13, 14 pounds a day or so. Stem's looking okay. I'm trying to mitigate the stem stress. It's pointing down, which is okay, but I wish it was leaning back. So I'm just trying to mitigate all the stem stress. But it's good looking fruit, big blocky fruit. So I'm hoping it'll go heavy for me. The color, I wish it was gonna be orange from the 2365 Wolf gene, but I know those those Wolf plants can throw some gray / white pumpkins, I'll call them, but I don't know if this pumpkin's gonna be orange, but that's okay. It gives me a personal best. I won't mind one bit. Taking a look at the overall plant health, there's our stump, cleared out those weeds. Still got a little bit more weeds to clear. It's an ever-going battle here. There's our little wound I showed you guys last week. Keeping it dry as I can, putting sulfur powder. I'm due put some sulfur powder on it tonight. But all in all, I'm pretty happy. Now it's just a matter of getting this baby to the finish line. Let's just take a quick walk around here. Oh, there's that secondary again. Saw it from last week. Still growing, still growing. But there's our fruits up there. I'll try to get a closer up look. But this just gives you an overall general view of the overall plant health. Looking pretty good. Let's go take a quick walk around, get a closer view of Casper. Casper. Looking good. So yeah, a little better view of Casper here than the first view. And then the blossom looks okay. The blossom is actually pointing to the right, not straight out, which I think is interesting. Never have seen that before. I'm sure it happens, but I haven't grown one like that before. It's looking really good. I think it's circumference-wise, I think it's 93 inches or so from left to right. 65 front to back, 62 OTT of 220, which puts it about 250. Don't check my math, but I think that's what I had before without having a piece of paper in front of me. But I think we're gonna keep pushing this fruit. I think we're gonna keep pushing and see if we can get ourselves a personal best and see what we can do. Right now in the season, it's humid. We got to really be careful of powdery mildew, keep up with those fungicides. And we just got to really make sure no squash, vine borer damage happens, keep up with your insecticides. But really nice fruit. Sounds heavy, taps heavy. We're gonna keep pushing it and just see how much we can push. And we'll put your guesses below. Where are we gonna end up at? 800 pounds, 600 pounds, 300 pounds? What's your guess? I mean, tomorrow I could come out, this thing could be split. Knock on wood, but join us next week. Thank you for joining me on this week's update on our pumpkin. Like and subscribe to our page. And I post a lot of short videos during the week on our pumpkin. to give you short little updates. I do a long post like this once a week, but tell a friend, and until then, growing big. What's going on, pumpkin people? It's been 7 days since our last update. I got Casper behind me here. Casper's doing okay. The plant's looking okay. I'd say we put on about 100 pounds since our last update, and I'm hoping we can get a new personal best this year. We got about 8 more weeks of growing, hopefully. So Casper here, I'm gonna give you a full update. Stick around. Starting at the top of the main vine here. We gotta be about 50 feet now, I would say, from Casper. Casper's way back there. Hey, Casper. Anyway, so we're up here by the tip. Finally got this other pumpkin opening tomorrow. We're not gonna pollinate that. We're just gonna let that open, then I'll just cut it off. I think we're gonna ride out Casper for the rest of the season. Got another one up on the tip here. And I think that's it for females. So the plant's still pushing out females here. No side vines. I think it's just no more nutrients to really push out any more side vine growth, but we're still getting some canopy growth, which is good. Looking at the general plant health here, walking around, looking all right. I sprayed Daconil last night on my leaves. You'll see right there, see the Daconil. Like I said, don't worry, it's not powdery mildew. It's just Daconil that dried onto the leaves. Overall plant health is pretty good. But let's take a look at Casper here. I think that's why everyone's tuning into the channel, right? Just to check out Casper. That's the stem on Casper. Got some vine tension. I'm watching it as much as I can. It's doing okay though. No stem splits, knock on wood. Nothing too funky going on with it. Let's go spin around here real quick. I'll take a look at stump. Stump's looking okay. Got my stump cover here for a split here on my vine, trying to keep it as dry as we can. This vine just overturned, it looks like. I gotta do some weeding here, but looks like I just got a little tangled up. Let's just walk around here. Just a little side note. This is actually a just an apple tree we got going. This apple tree is 2 or 3 years old. And you can see down here, that's the graft for your rootstock. Got this leaf in the way. That's your graft, and then your scion sticks into the graft. And that's how you create apple trees. But just a little fun little thing we're doing. Here's that side vine. It finally just piddled out. It had no more energy, I don't think, to grow. But looking on the back of the plant here, we got some aging of the leaves here. It's pretty typical and pretty standard for this time of year. You'll see like this leaf right here is just a little, just showing its age. It's just getting a little old. I mean, these leaves have been here since May, June, so they're just a little old, and out there they look a little better. Say out by Casper and way out there, they're just a little younger, the leaves, so they look a lot better. So I'm hoping that will just push our fruit for the next 6 or 8 weeks, I hope. But overall plant health is okay. Let's go take a quick look at Casper up close here. Okay. Boy, she's growing. She's growing. It's hard to get the scale, but that's a good shot of it right there. You can probably get a sense of how big Casper is. Last time I measured, it's about 104, 105 inches in circumference. 71 side to side, front to back. I don't know, about 70, but looking okay. Let's take a look at our blossom end here. Take a look at our blossom end. Looking okay. It's pointing, like I said, in the wrong direction, but I gotta be careful down here. See, it's like a bird bath. See it right here, it's holding water. I gotta be careful of that. Water's just sitting there all day and like dirt and whatever else is in there. So I gotta keep that dry. Something to watch, but you're actually getting a little bit of color here. This portion's been exposed to the sun, so it's starting to turn, I don't know, I guess a light cream color, but she might orange up a little bit as time goes on. But overall, looking all right. Hopefully by next update, we'll be pushing up over 400 pounds. This secondary just started growing past couple days. Just decided to get going again, but it wants to starburst out. See how there's all these blossoms at the end? Just stops growing for some reason. I think it's just because the pumpkin's just pulling so much energy and nutrients. Here's the different angle of Casper over here. It's looking pretty good. I mean, for this plant size and that size, that pumpkin, I'm just gonna prove that if you have some decent soil, good sun, seed, you can grow a big pumpkin, and you're gonna have the biggest pumpkin in your neighborhood. So we're hoping to push this pumpkin up over 600-700 pounds would be ideal. Let's see how far we can push it. It's got a kind of a big hump here forming, which is okay, but it's a good look, good shape fruit. Let's get a little aerial view. But that's this week's update. I got a thunderstorm rolling in. That's why I had to kind of speed this one along so I can get the thunder off in the distance. But if you haven't already, like and subscribe to our page. I really appreciate the support so far. Tell a friend. And until then, going big. What's going on, pumpkin people? I'm hanging out here with Casper. I'm about to give you a full update how the plant's doing. It's been a good week so far. Here we go. Top of the plant. Plant is about 50 feet long or so, still growing. Got one female up in the tip up here. We're not gonna keep that, obviously. And then I had this one open up a couple days ago, but we're not gonna obviously keep that one either. We're just gonna take that off. And looking okay. Let's just take a quick look at these guys in here. Looks like some bumblebees doing some pollinating right there. Pretty cool. But yeah, Casper's doing pretty well here. Plant health is looking good. I have one concern. It's just this leaf here, just totally just obliterated now. Last week, if you look back on last week's video, you'll see it had some weird coloration to it. And it looks like it might have spread to this leaf and this leaf right here. And maybe over on that leaf, just on the edge. But that leaf is totally obliterated. So I'm not sure. I'm gonna cut that leaf off. Just so it's, I don't know if it's a parasite or it's a fungus, but all the other leaves look fine. But it's just one thing to watch for now. All in all, in decent shape. Got more weeding to do. I've had a lot of rain in the past couple days here. It was actually 58 degrees this morning, which is actually pretty cool for this time of year. And here's a look at Casper. Casper's looking good. Got that little lean forward still. Managing that stem stress. The stem looks good. Right there, looking all right. She's 113 inches in circumference. Hopefully, slowly creeping our way to hopefully a personal best. And then a little stump view here. Stump's looking all right. Got my stump cover, our main vine split right there, keeping it as dry as I possibly can. I unburied my main vine. So I buried my main vine during the season, and then say a couple weeks ago I went back and unburied them all, just so the main vine can breathe and doesn't rot out on me too early. Let's just take a spin around here in the back. Look at the overall plant health. There's that secondary. That secondary totally stalled out now. It's just everything's pulling right to that fruit, which is fine. But overall, plant health looks good. These are showing their age right here. These leaves in the back. And I think these dots that you see here is aging. That might be Daconil burn, as weird as that is. I think some of the fungicide here, I don't know, had some burning maybe, but not really sure. But our plant is way out there at the tip, 50 feet or so away, and then there's Casper looking bigger. Looking all right. Let's just take a look at Casper up close. All right. You can definitely see a big gain since last week. She's pretty solid, big blocky fruit. She's kind of getting a little bit more coloration. This part was exposed to the sun for a little bit, so it's kind of interesting. A little light orange. So this has been covered up with a towel, usually during the day, so just to prevent the sunburn. But all in all, good fruit. I got some scars here. Nothing too bad, nothing too crazy here. Keeping them dry as I can. But most likely it's just from measuring and some sand residue when it's really young. The skin's really soft. You know, fingernail nicks and more scars up there. You can see them. Well, they're all right. They're healing. It is what it is. This is not a beauty contest. I'm trying to grow some giant pumpkins. But Casper weighs about 430 pounds, estimated this morning. Here's another look. She's really putting on some good size now. I like the cool little ribs that are showing. Kind of a cool looking pumpkin. Good shape. Kind of a wide fruit. It's got a kind of a hump over here. But it's not a bad looking fruit. So I'm pretty happy with it. Plant health is pretty good. I haven't been able to fertilize much recently just because of all the rain. So I think tonight I'm going to hit it with some fungicide because it was really humid also in the past week. So I'm really nervous about, funguses and whatnot. And I'm going to hit those leaves up there really well just in case that's anything. Probably going to hit it with Daconil and a little bit of Tall Star Biothin insecticide just to make sure we're killing all those bugs. But all in all, we're looking all right. I'm hoping, let's see, by end of August, 70 pounds a week, a couple hundred pounds more, a couple hundred pounds more by the time you hit the end of August. I mean, so we have to have a good August to have a personal best this year. And then hopefully September we can put on a little more and surpass our personal best. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe to our page and tell a friend about my page. I try to share as much content as possible. Leave any comments that you have, any questions. I'll respond to everybody about how I grow these fruits, and give you some suggestions on what you want to see. Do you want me to see my fungicide program? Do you want to see insecticide program? Just let me know in the comments, and I'll see if I can make you a video. But until then, grow 'em big. All right, welcome back to the pumpkin patch here. Thank you for tuning in for another week of this Casper update of our giant pumpkin. Casper is in a new set of hundreds today. Casper is 500 pounds estimated. It's about 119 inches in circumference. I just wanted to give you some scale for me being behind the fruit this week, just a different camera angle, just to show you how big this pumpkin really is. Casper is slowing down just a little bit. I'd say she's gaining about 10 pounds a day or so. The plant's definitely showing its age. The leaves are definitely starting to get a little crispy. I think there's some little fungicide burn here. We're keeping the powdery mildew, I think, at bay right now. Our weigh off that we're potentially doing is September 20th. It's a little earlier for a weigh off, but I think Casper is going to do well there, and this will be probably my first time getting it weighed on an official scale. But I do also have some exciting news to share with everybody. I think by tonight we're going to be launching, you'll see the link in my description of my bio here on my YouTube. I'm going to be selling my giant pumpkin seeds from 2022. So if you want to try growing a giant pumpkin, I'm going to have a link where you can go to my store and buy them. Yeah, those seeds will definitely give you the potential to grow, you know, well over 1,000 pounds in the right conditions. So, you know, I just want to put it out there to everybody that, you know, we're gonna be offering some of my seeds from my 2022 pumpkin. If you visit the link, you'll see the picture of the pumpkin there, what it looked like. It was about 600 pounds estimated. It was really nice orange pumpkin, really round. The shape was awesome. So that's something I'm really looking forward to doing, is sharing with everybody some seeds from our pumpkin patch. So definitely check that out. But yeah, I can take you around the pumpkin patch right now and I'll show you what the plant's looking like. So like and subscribe to our page if you haven't already, and leave a comment below if you have any questions or comments or any questions about the pumpkin seeds we're going to be offering for sale. Let me know. But right now we're going to just take you around and show you the plant, give you a general update of the health, and this is Casper. All right, starting at the rear of the giant pumpkin plant. As you can tell from our previous weeks here, definitely showing some age. That's okay, we got some good foliage up in the front here, but it's just a natural progression of a plant as it gets older. You can see these are a little rough, and up there they're a little bit better. I'll give you a closer look. Hi, Casper. But everything's looking all right. Gotta do some maintenance on the stump. I gotta cut that bad leaf off, and stump's looking good. It's dry, no cracks really. It's solid, which is really positive. Take a look at our cracked little main there. Looking okay. Got the stump cover over it, so keeping it dry. Got some sulfur powder on there. But yeah, all in all, looking all right. Here's that secondary, looking good back here. So you can tell these leaves are a little newer and they look a little bit better, and that's helped back feeding all this plant here. It's helping feed that pumpkin right there. So there's a look at Casper again. It's definitely looking a lot bigger from last week. Let's just take a look over here from the other angle. Definitely notice way more ribs this week. Ribs are really starting to show. The blossom's looking good. Solid. There's no any soft spots or anything. And then if you look at the front of the plant, it's looking pretty good here. I have no issues with that really. I mean, wish the plant was a little bit bigger, but that's another topic for another day. But we're still putting on some pounds. And then here's the other side of the, up towards the main vine here. Here's another secondary poking out. And these leaves look a little bit better, so all this plant is helped back feeding into that pumpkin right there. So if you're just getting into pumpkin growing, the bigger you have your plant, is basically you're gonna have a bigger pumpkin. That's the basic, you know, thought. And those are those leaves again. I've been spraying a little bit more foliar feeding here. I don't know if it's like a nutrient deficiency. I was talking to another guy, a grower. If you haven't seen his YouTube already, it's I think it's at the Turner Ranch. Check out his YouTube. And he was saying we could have a nutrient deficiency here. So I've been spraying a little bit more here, seeing if I'm lacking a micronutrient. So it seems to have stopped the progression of it. So probably what it was. Could have been just pulling that pumpkin's just pulling so much micronutrients that these leaves have started having a deficiency. So doing a little bit more foliar feeding. But yeah, if you haven't checked out his YouTube, definitely check him out. I think it's at the Turner Ranch. I think he's grown a 1,900 pound pumpkin last year or so. But this is the main vine's totally stalled out now. We're at the tip. We're 50 feet. There's Casper way back there. But yeah, his vines kept going. I let it go. So this foliage is pretty new. I wish I had more side vines, but all in all, looking okay. Let's just take a quick spin around here, look at Casper from the other side, show you the stem. I'm just gonna take a quick look at Casper's stem end here. Stem's looking good. It's pointing down, which is good. Not a lot of stem stress. Knock on wood, stem is still solid. So all in all, looking all right. That's a good view of Casper right there. Give you a really good scale how big she really is. But that's this week's update. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to our page. And we'll be back next week, and hopefully Casper put on at least another 60 or 70 pounds by then. But until then, growing big. What's up, pumpkin people? This week I'm going to be showing you Casper, giving you a full update on our giant pumpkin. I'm going to take you along as we do our fungicide treatment today, and we're going to be feeding a little bit of fertilizer from Plant Marvel Nutriculture. I think it's 15530. Stick around, I'm going to show you how I do that, and then I'm going to take you around the pumpkin patch. I'm going to show you what the plant health's looking like. Today is August 20th. It's about 70 degrees right now. Fall seems like it's in the air. The humidity has come down a little bit over the past couple days. I think the heat's gonna be coming back next week, so hopefully the gains will pick up. And stick around. All right, we're gonna get started here. We have our Ortho sprayer. I go a little more in depth on how I do all my spraying and nutrients. My other videos, check those out. So I'm just gonna rinse this out really quick, just from, it's old leftover fish fertilizer from yesterday. So I'm just gonna take our Plant Marvel 15530, and the point of this video today is just to show you kind of like my daily routine out here. You know, a couple times a week I'm doing this. So 2, 3, 4, 5. This is gonna be like the speed version, how I do all this. So I just put 6 scoops of Plant Marvel into this Ortho sprayer mixer. I'm gonna take my Ortho. I'm just gonna spray regular water into this to dilute the powder that's in there. I just fill it all the way up to the top, see? It's mixing it and diluting it as well as I do this. And I put the sprayer on here. This is always a little tricky. You would think after the 20th time I've done this, it'd get a little easier, but it really doesn't, for whatever reason. There we go, got it. Give it a shake. So I'm going to test my EC. I got my handy meter here. So I'm going to start with 2 ounces per gallon of this solution. Let's see what it comes out. So I'm just going to spray it in here. I'm looking for about a 2 EC today. All right, turn on our handy EC meter. And we're just testing our solution. It's warming up. I think you can see it's about, was it 2.1? Good to go, let's feed it. I was looking for about a 2 today. I think that's 1,000 ppms. I have to go back and look at my chart, but I've been feeding about 2 EC every single time we fed here. But so now it's just, I'm gonna take you along how I feed, and let's get Casper fed, and then I'm going to show you, I'm going to mix up a little bit of fungicide. I'll bring you around for that. And then I'll just show you Casper really quick up close. But this week's video, like I said, is just to show you my daily routine out here in the pumpkin patch. All right, here we go. Got our solution. Gonna start watering our pumpkin plant. So we're watering at a 2 EC, and as you can see, our leaves are pretty beat up back here in the back. I don't think it's a fungus, because up here they look okay. There's Casper. But we're just gonna continue feeding just like this. Evenly distribute around. We'll even water and foliar feed up there at the front of the plant. So this is how I just do that. So I'm gonna really get everything nice and watered in here. Give our plant some nitrogen, some potassium. Hopefully put on some more weight for Casper. Okay, so I just fertilized Casper with our solution that I showed you before. And then I went back with just regular water to wash off all the fertilizer on the leaves. So when the sun comes up tomorrow, it doesn't potentially burn our leaves. And so the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna apply some fungicide, and today we're gonna be applying Daconil. This time of year, we're really fighting powdery mildew. As of yet, I haven't seen any, but you're gonna see as I give you an update on Casper. The leaves are just getting old. I think there's just the age. But for right now, I don't see any powdery mildew. So I think that's because if you watch my other videos, we've been alternating Daconil, which is our contact fungicide. We've also been doing a systemic fungicide, and then I've also been adding this companion, if I get the label to show, Companion Max, which are beneficials to help fight different funguses. So right now I think our plant is, knock on wood, doing all right in regards to funguses. But what I'm going to do right now is, all I did was I filled up just a gallon of water in this pump sprayer. You can find them at your big box store. Not too much money, but nothing really scientific here. So I do about 2 tablespoons per gallon of water. So I take this cap's about a tablespoon. I don't get too picky. So there's 1, and then 2. So 2 tablespoons per gallon is plenty. And then all we're gonna do is just walk around with our pump sprayer here, and we're gonna wet all the leaves and all the surfaces of the plant. And hopefully in the middle of the night it's gonna dry, and we should fight off all those bad funguses. So I'm gonna show you right now how I do that. All right, we got our solution here in our pump sprayer. All we're gonna do is just apply it to our leaves. A little extra just came out there. Just the air making it looks a little more white. So I'm just gonna rinse it off real quick. There we go. That's pretty much that. So we're just gonna walk around. So I think right now I'm just gonna spray my fungicide, and then we're gonna give you a little update on Casper at the same time. 2 birds with 1 stone, right? So starting at the top, the main vine here, looking all right. Or main vine has stopped growing right now, but that's okay. I think all the nutrients are being pulled into Casper, which is great. So just continue on here, applying our fungicide. Just want to make sure you're getting the leaves just dripping, so you know they're well covered. I just do every leaf just like this. But as you can tell, the overall plant health as I'm doing this, those 2 leaves here, I've had some trouble with those past couple weeks, but hasn't really spread to these leaves. These leaves up in the front here are actually looking all right. So hopefully that's gonna give us a little bit of time to put on some more pounds. So I'll just pump this up a little bit more, loses pressure after a while, and just continue on. Let's get right into the main patch here. So yeah, there's Casper right there. Casper is weighing about, drum roll please, 550 pounds estimated. She's probably put on about 50 pounds this week. I'm just gonna take a break from spraying for a second. And you're gonna see the back of this plant is really rough. It's really rough right now. I've weeded pretty well in between all these vines here to give it some more airflow. I gotta trim off that leaf, you know, right there. I gotta trim that guy off. But I don't know, you know, the age of the plant, it's aging kind of quick. Let's spin around here real fast, hit these leaves as we go. I'm gonna come back here and I'll straighten out this vine, just tipped over in the wind today. Here's a look at the back of the plant. Those leaves just right in the middle on the main vine are just getting cooked. But you'll notice the front of the plant, it's not too bad. So I'm hoping we keep pushing. Let's go take a look at Casper up close over here. Oh, keep hitting your fungicide. This is really important though. You gotta really stay faithful to this all season long. You gotta stay up on it. So I think once you start skipping weeks, that's when the stuff's really gonna set in. But there's Casper. Casper's looking okay here. I'm gonna put the sprayer down. But looking pretty good. I think it's 124 inches in circumference. So you look at these leaves, they're okay, but it's slowly progressing. See, it's getting kind of worn out and brown and kind of bloated looking, and it's slowly working its way. So it looks okay up front, but like I said in my other video from last week, I think the weigh off is September 20th. So I think this is going to be perfect. I think by then, that's literally a month exactly from now is the weigh off. So I think this plant only got about 3 to 4 more weeks of growth here of really putting on some weight. But we'll see. I mean, these pumpkins can surprise you sometimes. They'll just keep growing if they have a little bit of good root system and some leaves to really help push it. But we're closing in on our personal best. Let's see if we can zoom in a little bit more there. That's a little bit too much. There we go. Sorry about that. But doing all right. So hopefully you guys learned something today, just about the daily routine of what it takes to really grow these big pumpkins. You know, I have all my things over here. I got my Hanometer and my watering can. I measure my solution and my fertilizer, my Daconil, and my sprayer and the tape measure. But you know, I'm out here, you know, every day pretty much trying to keep up with this plant as best I can. But like and subscribe to our page, and keep tuning in for our weekly updates here. And I'm gonna hopefully we'll get another 100 pounds out of Casper before the weigh off comes. Until then, growing big. What's going on, pumpkin people? It is now August 25th. We have about 25 more days or so for the weigh off. The plant's really spent. If you can see behind me here, some of these leaves are pretty crispy. I don't know if it's some sort of fungus or bacteria, but the underside of the leaf looks okay. Like, looks a little greener, but I don't know if it's just plant age because it started from the stump and it's working its way down. So this week I'm just gonna set the camera up, and you're gonna watch me just trim off some of these leaves. I'm gonna take you around. We're gonna trim some of those leaves off just to maybe stop the spread and put on some more weight with Casper. I will say Casper is growing. I'm not gonna say how much. I'm gonna let it kind of be a secret for right now, or you guys put your guesses below, but you're gonna see how rough this plant is. But Casper is growing still. It is unofficially, we have a personal best here in the patch, so that's pretty exciting stuff. This is, I think, is gonna be our first year. I think we're gonna have it officially weighed at a weigh off this year, September 20th, at the Big E. It's in West Springfield, Massachusetts. So that's where Casper will be weighed, hopefully. But all in all, so far so good. No splits or anything, knock on wood. You gotta be careful of mice. This time of year, mice like to go up underneath your fruit and have some of your pumpkin seeds, and they drill their way in. So either set some mouse traps around your pumpkin so they don't, burrow into your fruit. But yeah, I'll take you around. I'm just gonna do some basic plant maintenance. I'm just gonna set the camera up and I'll put on a time lapse of just, out in the garden here. And that's pretty much it for this week. I'll take you around and show you, the plant and Casper, different angles. I'll take you around this week on this side and show you the stem end. I'll take you inside the patch here. Notice I'm not walking on boards anymore. I mean, it's just that time of year where I don't think I'm gonna lose, 100 pounds by walking on my soil. So that's fine for now. So let's just get this plant cleaned up and I'm gonna take you around and hopefully we'll put on some more pounds. Stay tuned. So we're actually inside of the pumpkin patch this week, and you're gonna see these leaves are cooked. Put a comment in the bottom if you know what this is, but those leaves are crispy. So that's our stump. There's Casper, and then out there, our plant is actually pretty green and nice, and towards the stump, everything's kind of turning brown. But we're gonna get those leaves taken care of. I'll show you guys us taking these off. See, these leaves are pretty bad. I gotta prevent some rot here, but all in all, considering our main vine has no rot in it. I went up and down, I looked for soft spots, and it's actually okay. Tension's okay. I mean, a little tight, but the season's almost over. So I'm not gonna mess with it too much. There's the stem. I don't see any splits or anything, which is great. But Casper's looking pretty good. Looking pretty big, so I'm just gonna keep it a secret for now what Casper's taping. But all in all, I'm pretty happy with it so far. So let's go set this camera up and let's get this plant kind of cleaned up and show you what that looks like as we do that. Actually, I'll just grab the snips right now. Why not? So usually I sanitize my tools, but since it's so late in the season, we're just gonna go for it. We're gonna start trimming these bad leaves off, cut them as low as we can, and we'll get rid of those. But let me just set up the camera here, and you guys are just gonna watch me work out in the patch here. Stay tuned. All right, let's get some of this dead foliage off. We're just gonna trim these off. That's not really doing anything for Casper right now, just spreading disease. So we're gonna take these off. They're not giving anything right now to the plant, so cut them as low as you can. All I'm trying to do here is just slow the process down a little bit. It's only a matter of time before this plant really gets out of control. Let's see if you can see me a little better here. There we go. You can see what the heck I'm doing. Yeah, you can see that a little better. I see these leaves are just garbage. That's why you want to grow your plant as big as you can. You're always going to run into some sort of issue, but I will say Casper's still growing. Still growing, which is awesome. So we're just gonna get this cleaned up a little bit. Cut everything back as low as you can. That leaf's gotta go, see? So we're just gonna clip that off. I mean, it's doing nothing for the plant, but just taking energy at this point, spreading disease and rot. So we're just gonna keep plugging away through here. I'm not gonna compost any of these leaves or anything. I'm just gonna throw them right away. I don't want, if there is disease, I don't want this being spread. I don't see anything on these. I mean, they're as crispy as ever. I'm just gonna speed up the camera now. You're gonna see it go into like a time-lapse mode. So here's gonna be working here, clearing this out a little bit, and let's see if we can get Casper to the finish line here. Definitely looks a little bit better here. Cleared out a lot of these weeds, caught a lot of dead leaves. There's our stump. It's looking okay. And way down the other end there, still very green. We're back feeding in to Casper. So just because this foliage is gone, we still got a good amount of leaves, way all leaves, pretty good leaves right here. Back feeding into Casper. So it definitely looks a lot better than it was. But that's another tip. Don't let the weeds get ahead of you. Try to stay up on them because you're gonna lose pounds. But got some left. It's just slowly progressing down the main vine, that fungus or whatever that was. But believe it or not, Casper's still growing. What's going on, pumpkin people? I'm here with Casper. I'm gonna give you an update on how Casper's doing. It's the home stretch here. Stick around and find out how Casper did last week. Here we go. All right, this is gonna be a quick update on Casper. Casper put on about 20 pounds last week, and you can see here the plant is pretty bad back here. And if you spin around, still got some foliage. And believe it or not, she put on about 20 pounds last week. She's looking pretty good. Got some scars from, you know, my fingernails measuring, and some cantalouping going on here on the sides. Overall, looking pretty good. This little wound here, I don't know how this happened, but it's healed up quite nice. I made sure I kept it dry, and I put some sulfur powder on that, and looks like it's scabbed up really well, and it's dry and no further damage there. I keep the water out of my blossom area here. Let's see if I can get that to free focus. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of water that collects. I just try to keep that as dry as possible. I don't want that water sitting in there. But the blossom is still solid. No signs of rot or anything. And like I mentioned in the last video, you got to take care of those mice. So I put down some rat or mice poison blocks just on the bottom of the pumpkin. So if they mice decide to go up underneath our pumpkin, they run into that first before they put a hole in the back of Casper. But it's funny, you know, looking at the front here. Let's show you the stem of Casper. Looking nice, no splits. Looking really good. I don't see any issues. And you also see here, she's kind of turned some orange up front. And actually got a little bit of like green or something, like grayish green. Not the prettiest pumpkin, but I am hopeful Casper is going to give us a personal best this year. That's my neighbor's dog barking in the background. But the weigh-off is going to be September 20th at the Big E in West Springfield, Massachusetts. We're going to be cutting Casper off the vine September 18th, and then my buddy's going to come over with a bobcat, and we're going to get a rigging system and put it on top, and we're going to pick up the pumpkin, and I'm going to show you guys that whole process once we do that. I've never really done that before, so that'll be a trial by fire type of thing. So I got to read up and do some research on how to lift these up. But just wanted to give you a quick update. This video is just about Casper and in general, how Casper is doing health wise, and just giving a good overall picture of what this pumpkin's going to be turning out to be. I'm hoping we have a new personal best. But everyone put your comments below on what you think Casper is going to weigh before we put her on the scale. So put your comment below and take a guess on what Casper weighs. But yeah, the plant's really spent, but we're still putting on some pounds. It's still growing very slowly, but it's gonna be warm this week, so I'm hoping put on just maybe 10 more pounds or so before the weigh off. But thanks again, everybody. Like and subscribe to our page if you haven't already. And I think the next video will be us just lifting Casper out of the patch, and we'll show you, putting her up on the pallet and up on the truck. So I'll show you how we do that. So stick around and hit that notification button, subscribe to our page so you won't miss out. Thanks again. Until next time, growing big.
What's going on, pumpkin people? Today's the day we're lifting Casper. I'm going to show you how we lift up Casper. We're going to use a rigging system lifted by a mini excavator. And I'm going to also show you, I'm going to pull up the plant a little bit right now. I'm going to show you the root system. This video is going to be just a compilation of what the system of the roots look like, how the plant looks, and we're going to lift up Casper, get her into the truck, and then we're going to be weighing her this Friday at the Big E in Springfield, Massachusetts. Here we go. All right, we're going to be harvesting Casper here really shortly. And here's the crown of the plant. Let's just give it a little tug. Ooh, soft stump. Yep, lost the stump, it looks like. Yeah, that stump rotted out. This looks okay though. Hey, it looks good. Tap roots look pretty big. I think we're picking Casper here at a good time. I didn't really notice this before. We lost that stump. I don't see any squash vine borer damage. That could be a problem. Yeah, soft and it gets hard right about here. So, all right, we're getting her out of here at a good time, I think. Let's pull up this end. Look at those tap roots. Look at that tap root, the size of my finger. That's why you bury your vines. Look at that. Look at those roots. Oh yeah. Here we go. Here's a taproot broke off. Those taproots are massive, size of my thumb. Look at that. See, that's why you want to bury your vines. But I think we're picking Casper here at a good time. We'll put the the rig on top. We're gonna trim off this main vine. Back here, we'll have the main vine in water for a couple days so it doesn't lose too much weight on us. But stick around, I'm gonna set up the camera, put the rig on top, and I'll show you us lifting her up. Here we go, cutting off Casper, leaving a little bit of the main vine. There she goes. Let's cut it way back here for now. There she goes. She's on her own now. She's officially picked. Let's get her lifted. All right, so I got the patch pretty much cleaned up now. We're gonna use, like I said, like a rigging system that's gonna sit on top of Casper, and these like straps are gonna come down. A rope is gonna go around the bottom, and we're gonna have an excavator pick it up from the top. So first thing I'm gonna do is take this old quilt I have, just put it on top of Casper here, just so when the ring sits on top, there'll be some buffer in between the pumpkin and the ring. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that right now. This blanket's fairly thick, so it's good padding. I just, put a couple layers on it like that, so it covers the top of the pumpkin, just like that. So let's get the rig. Okay, this is the rigging system we're going to be using. So like I said, there's some straps. We're going to put this on top of Casper. We'll connect this to the loader, and then at the bottom you're going to see this rope that's going to go around the base of Casper, around the bottom. So basically the pumpkin is just going to be sitting in a cradle in a sense. So I'm going to get this rig placed on top of Casper here, and I'm going to adjust these straps. I'll probably speed up the camera a little bit. It's going to take me a little while to get these adjusted. But that's the next step here. Let's just get this placed on top of the pumpkin. You want to make sure they're evenly distributed around the straps here. Piece of rope and stick it through these loops that are at the bottom of these straps, so they'll be underneath the pumpkin. So let's go ahead and do that now. You want to take your time doing this. I mean, you've spent a lot of time growing, so you want to make sure this is done right. You don't want your pumpkin slipping out. Okay, I'm just going to speed up this camera here a little bit. Just going to do a quick voiceover. So all I'm really doing here is just snaking that rope around through those little loops of the harness, and I'm just making it nice and tight, getting it up underneath that pumpkin, and then just checking things over, and I'm tightening up those silver buckles there that you see up on top of the ring just to snug it up, and eventually I'll tie the two ends of the rope together into a square knot, and that will be it, and we'll pretty much be ready to lift the giant pumpkin with the excavator. So I just want to give you a little insight of what I was doing here, and checking things out. It takes a little while, so just gotta take your time. You want it done right.
Pumpkin Picker 2000. She can lift about 2,000 pounds. This is what you need when you grow giant pumpkins.
Basically what you're going to see me doing here next is just taking a quick peek under the pumpkin, and I'm happy to report that underneath the pumpkin looked really good. And safety rule, do not get under that pumpkin. That pumpkin could fall out of harness at any time. So I am not underneath that pumpkin, and I'm just taking a quick peek under that pumpkin and staying out of its way.
Looks good.
So right here, you're gonna see me just guiding that pumpkin into the back of the pickup truck. Again, just making sure, staying out of that pumpkin's way. You just never know, that thing could drop at any moment. But basically, just trying to guide it into the pickup truck. I'm just gonna try to spin this pumpkin around a little bit, just to guide it, and gently place it down. There's a pallet in the back of the truck that I forgot to show you guys. There's the pallet with a blanket for some padding, but I'll let this one play out. Okay, let's just take one last look underneath the pumpkin. You'll see there's a little indent in the bottom of that pumpkin, but nothing to be worried about. I did poke it and it was still solid, so this pumpkin should be good to go.
Okay, we got the pumpkin safely loaded in, and I actually took the vines and just put them in some water. I don't know if it really helps, but we'll try it just so it doesn't lose any weight. Looking really good, so looks pretty impressive. Once it's in the truck, looks a little bigger. Like a rock. Thanks for tuning in, and next time I'm gonna make a video for this is going to be when it's up on the scale. We'll do a whole video on the weigh off day. So until then, growing big. That's a beautiful looking sight in your rearview mirror. Giant pumpkin baby. What's going on, pumpkin people? Today, weigh off day at the Big E in West Springfield, Massachusetts. So we're gonna I think we're gonna put the lifting ring on top of Casper here, and we're gonna run some ratchet straps from the top of the ring to the corner of the truck, and we'll secure it that way. I've had Casper on some water for a few days here. I had the vines in the water. It took up a little bit of water in the beginning, which is good, but it definitely slowed down a little bit. So we're just gonna cut the stem. We're gonna take off this vine here, and we'll get Casper loaded up, and we're gonna get her strapped down for the ride, and we're gonna get her weighed up. I mean, I'm hoping for a new personal best. She tapes 608, so I've been keeping that a secret for a little while now. She estimates 608 pounds. I'm hoping that she goes over 600 pounds tonight. That's the goal. I'm a little fearful she's gonna come in light, but she does look heavy. So we'll just see what the scale says. It's still gonna be a great day, so let's just get Casper secured up. All right, so we're just gonna cut the main vine off here. just trim it back. I think the regulation is you can leave about 1 inch of the vine. So we're just gonna get this cleaned up right now. All right, that should do it.
Okay, I'm just gonna speed up the camera here a little bit. All I'm doing here is just putting that blanket back on top of Casper. We used that in my last video, so check that out, how we lifted it out of the thatch. So basically all I'm gonna do here is just double up the quilt here, just make an extra little padding for it, for the ring to sit on top. And so when we put this ring on top, then we're gonna take ratchet straps and connect the lifting ring to the 4 corners of the truck, and that'll make it really secure. All right, we got the pumpkin loaded up on the truck and strapped down. Like I said, we took the lifting harness and put it on top of the fruit. Have a little bit of a pad there from an old quilt. And all we did was hook on a ratchet strap to the lifting ring. And we just tied it down to the 4 corners here of the truck. And it's pretty stable. So I think if that pumpkin goes forward, it'll tighten up these. If that pumpkin is to go back, those front ones will tighten up. And I got my little assistant over here. Thank you, Max. So everything looks good. I think the next stop's the Big E. We'll see what she weighs. All right, we're live here at the Big E. It's weighing day for Casper. Competition's looking pretty stiff out there. I'm seeing Pumpkin Pete has got a real nice one. It's real orange and real round, real nice shape. Gentleman named Paul. Paul's got a nice one. So I've met a few good growers so far. So if you guys see this video, like and subscribe to our page, and good luck tonight. Casper. Hope that pal doesn't let go on me. Okay, I just wanted to show just a quick photo of different pumpkins out at the fair. So the pumpkin to the right of this picture was a grower named Christina, really nice pumpkin. And then the one with the top around it was a gentleman named Paul. And then there was Casper. And then the pumpkin in the background was Pumpkin Pete's, and that one came in about 1,200 pounds.
Yeah, that's a good looking pumpkin.
What was your favorite part about growing the pumpkin? I'll say the pumpkins do grow really fast. That was always my favorite part of watching the pumpkins grow, is how fast they grow right on.
Here's just a picture of Casper and myself after the weigh off. Casper did come in a little light, but it still was really fun and a great event. It was a great season, so I appreciate everyone following along all season. Hopefully everyone learned something from me and motivates you to go out there and grow a giant pumpkin. But I'm going to keep posting content. Fall prep is going to start soon, but until next time, grow 'em big.